Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Youth Man. Today we're going to be kicking it in the home theater, talking about why sometimes Audyssey gets it wrong. But before we jump into the video, if you're into home theater, audio and video, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. So a couple of days ago, I reran Audyssey. As you know, I've been setting up the Klipsch RF-7 3s, the RC64 version 3 center channel, as well as dual SVS SB-16 Ultra subwoofers. So just a few days ago, I reran Audyssey to calibrate the system for these new speakers. Now, of course, when you run Audyssey, you're going to place the microphone throughout different positions in your listening area. It'll take some measurements of the room and try to make some adjustments to make the sound better for your listening environment. In the past, I've always accepted the Audyssey results at face value and just assumed that they were for the best. So the other day, I was playing some music in 2-channel stereo in this room, and I noticed the bass from the SB-16 dual subwoofers really just wasn't hitting that hard. Everybody has been raving about the SB-16s, and so I knew there had to be something missing. So I posted in several of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of and asked the question, what is going on? What is something that I'm missing? What possibly could be going on here to cause the SB-16s not to hit as hard? And some of the guys there made the suggestion to try changing my crossover setting in the receiver. So when I ran Audyssey, it determined the best crossover for my main speakers was 40 Hertz. Now 40 Hertz is pretty low, but Audyssey is looking at this being a huge tower that is fully capable of producing frequencies down to 40 Hertz. Sounds logical to me. Anything below 40 Hertz would then be routed to your subwoofer. And so I'm playing this song and I'm wondering why I don't have any slam. I'm not feeling the bass in my chest like I would expect from these caliber subwoofers. So I went into the receiver, went into my crossover settings for the main speakers and increased it from 40 Hertz to 60 Hertz. It was night and day different. The subwoofers literally came alive. And what I discovered through that process is that Audyssey had set the crossover so low that those frequencies 40 Hertz and above were not reaching the subwoofer. And the song that I was playing, those main bass notes were in probably around the 50 Hertz to 60 Hertz range. And so those frequencies were not being routed to the subwoofers at all. So once I adjusted it to 60 Hertz, it literally changed the entire dynamics of this room of how those front 3 speakers and the 2 subwoofers sounded phenomenal. So fast forward to today, I came in the theater room and I wanted to begin to see how do these sound for movies. And so I put in one of my favorite movies, Live, Die, Repeat, The Edge of Tomorrow. This is one with Tom Cruise in it. Phenomenal movie. I love the plot, love the story, but I also love the sound effects. There's a lot of LFE in this, a lot of low frequency effects, and it'll definitely put your subwoofer to the test. As a matter of fact, at the very beginning, before the movie even starts, there's a ridiculous amount of super extremely low bass that takes place even before the movie kicks off. Well, I'll tell you what, instead of me just telling you about it, how about let's take a look at them right now. So as you can see from that clip, the SVS SB-16s have some ridiculous amount of excursion. And during that moment, I had all kinds of stuff in this room rattling. During that initial bass sequence, certain frequencies would vibrate different areas of my room. It would hit a certain note and my double sliding glass door would begin to vibrate. Then it would go to a different frequency and the entry door to this room would begin to literally shake. Now let me just provide you with a warning. This is some ridiculously low frequencies and there's a lot of excursion as you saw in that demo. My suggestion, I would turn it down quite a bit and work your way up. I would not try to play that at reference level. I've heard of guys in different forums that have actually blown their subwoofers as a result of that. Now again, I don't want to damage these. There's no need to. They were providing plenty of bass at a really low volume. But once I got past that sequence and started the movie, I began to listen, and honestly, the center channel from the Klipsch really wasn't that exciting. Now in the past, I have owned both the RC64 as well as the RC64-2. The RC64-2 currently is in my son's bedroom, which resides in his setup. Both of those are amazing speakers. They provide incredible clarity and will just blow you out of the room if you want to really crank it. And of course, I've got the Parasound Halo A52 Plus. That's feeding 180 clean, powerful watts to each speaker. And so the center channel is getting good clean power. It's a quality center channel, but honestly, it sounded underwhelming. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I got this notion that if Audyssey got it wrong in the crossovers, what would it sound like if I just turned Audyssey off? Now, in that same discussion in the Facebook groups, I had different guys tell me, oh, Audyssey's junk, turn it off. I never use that, it's garbage. And I just took it with a grain of salt. I figure software is probably much smarter than my ears are in being able to dial in a room and change the settings, especially when it comes to equalization. You definitely need some software that can analyze what it's seeing to be able to change that and make some corrections in your room. So I jump into the Onkyo menu and then I go into the equalizer settings. In the equalizer settings, you have three options. You have manual, you have Audyssey, and you have off. So I decided to turn the Audyssey off just to see how that would sound without Audyssey running. I want to tell you this, when I turned Audyssey off, it was as if a veil or a blanket was removed from my speakers. There was literally so much more detail and clarity and high frequencies that were not there. Audyssey basically trimmed those severely. My son was just telling me just the other night, he had some friends over and he said, Dad, it just doesn't sound right. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't sound balanced. I'm having to turn it up to be able to hear the dialogue from the center channel, but then that causes the bass to be too loud and I'm having to turn those down. So he was trying to figure out the same thing that I was trying to figure out. The problem wasn't with the speakers. The problem was Audyssey itself. And so I'm not going to make a blanket statement that Audyssey is garbage, or Audyssey is worthless, or it's junk. But I will make this statement. My recommendation would be to try it both ways. Try it with Audyssey and try it without Audyssey, and then allow your ears to determine which one sounds better. And for me, in my room with my receiver, with Audyssey XT32, and using 8 seating positions, using Audyssey sounded worse than turning Audyssey off. So I hope this video is a benefit to you. Sometimes we don't know what we're missing until something better comes along. And so by just changing that one setting has drastically changed how this room sounds. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.